Good day fellow skiers. In this video we're going to learn some butters for beginner freestyle skiers. What exactly are we going to do?
So we're going to work our way through the steps, the typical steps that we would go through during a camp, for example, to work our way towards doing some sexy nose butters.
Yeah, nice, let's get it. Hello.
Now, that's sweet.
Oh. The first thing we got to learn is how to bend the skis. There's a couple of pointers here that's really important. It's you never want to over straighten the legs because you could hurt the knees. So you always want to keep them a little bit bent and really tense the back of your thighs. Next thing, you got to be in a perfectly flat place, ideally. Here it's not quite perfectly flat, but it will work to show you. Use the poles, put them a bit in front of you. And notice this, I'm like rolling up on the noses. So the noses are moving back, like that. Start very little in the beginning and then you can go a little bit higher. Once you get a grasp of that, you can try doing a little nollie just because it feels great. It'll work like this. Oh. Just so you get used to like pressing off the noses a little bit. Now you're going to introduce a little bit of speed with the butter movement. So find a super flat area. So flat you would hardly slide if you went down. So what you want to do, line yourself up downhill. Can you even drag the poles a little bit? And now as you have some speed, you try rolling up on those noses and then back down again. I think you can butter virtually any equipment, but some settings and types of equipment is just easier to do. So today I'm on a ski that's rather easy for me to both nose and tail butter. The first thing that makes it easy is the shape of the ski. This one has camber to there, and then it has rocker, meaning like a long gradient nose, making it kind of easy to roll onto. All right, a little prerequisite to this video is that you should be able to do slope spins. It's also nice if you can do a 180 and that sort of thing. Speaking about slope spins, this is how you do it. You side slip and then you move your hip forwards and backwards. As you move forwards, the edges are going to grip in the front and it's going to rotate you around, just like this. So I've got to start sliding, lean forwards, and as I rotate, lean backwards. Let's see if we can do it the other way. Yeah, slope spins. Practice that until you're completely dizzy. No, don't do that, it could be dangerous. If you want to learn more, join us in person at one of our Stomp It Camps. We do freestyle, freeride and ski techniques for adults. Maybe see that? So now we're going to introduce a cool way of creating rotation. If you just side slip and roll up on the noses, because the edges are hardly pressed down into the snow, they're going to spin you around 90 degrees, maybe more. I roll up on the noses and the edges chuck me around. And remember to do this both ways. Boom. We're just traversing this easy slope here, a little bit of wind up onto the noses. Nice and controlled. Nice, that's the one. All right, let's do some butter 180 to 270 in a traverse. Let's tag along and do some while I'm talking about it. I have a little bit of wind up onto the noses. Boom. Start with a 180, that's probably enough. And do it the other way too. Woo. That was exciting. A little warning, anytime you're traversing across slopes, look up and spot for a nice gap where no people are coming, so no one skis into you. Yeah, that's how I want to show you. Nice and smooth. Let's do it to the right. Next part of the ski is also the flex. See, I can bend it quite easily by just pulling on it. While I mounted it so it's extra easy to nose butter, I made it extra difficult to tail butter. Because the longer the tail goes, the harder it's going to become to tail butter. So to move into a nose butter 270 in a traverse, here's a new movement we got to practice. and it's to pull in the arms with the correct timing. That you start the butter with a bit of rotation up the hill, and you start buttering, and then you pull in the arms nice and late. So you speed up the rotation in the last minute, just like this. All right, so I'm here, starting the rotation. Boom! That wasn't a 270, it was a complete 3. Felt great, my timing was good, I think. Let's see if we can impress some middle-aged lady here. Hey, check out my butter. It's a cool trick. All right. She just left. Oh. If you're finding the nose butters in a traverse a bit tricky, you could try it with a pole plant. It can lead to bad habits if you're always putting them down. But it's quite helpful actually, help you start rotation and also a little bit for balance. So. What? That felt pretty smooth. The nose butter 360 from a nice carve. So as a progression, you can take a traverse butter and start going more and more and more down the hill. And as you get more comfortable, you can even go straight down the hill. I think it's the easiest to start, like as mentioned, off a tiny roller or even flat. It's all about learning to butter nice and early in that carve, just like this. Let's see how it goes now. So minimum speed, I'm like carving a little bit, rotate onto the noses. I'm gonna do it over this tiny roller here, and I'm gonna hit it in the foreline with a gentle carve, just like this. So I'm keeping the speed down. I'm setting myself up for the carve here. See, I'm super slow. And I go onto the noses. Wow! That was exciting. Let's try one more here. So keeping the speed nice and low. Setting myself up here with a little carve. Wow, that felt nice. Some people, when they nose butter, pop out of the heel piece of the binding and then blame the dins to be too low. And that can be true, but I'd rather say focus on getting your technique right, that you can roll up on the noses. If they pop up super easy, maybe you will want to crank the din up, but be extremely careful doing so, because they are meant to pop out before you break your legs off. And yeah, be terribly careful with that, please. Let me introduce you to Will, one of our Stomp It Camp coaches.
Hey Jens.
Dude, great to have you here.
Thanks, man.
Do you think you could share with the audience some of the common mistakes you see at the camps when you're teaching this sort of thing?
Absolutely. So, first day of the camps, we always spend a lot of time doing slope spins. Well, people always start asking about nose butters really soon.
Yeah.
And what you say, always is do a slope spin and lean forwards as you get to switch. Okay? I think the most common mistake is that people don't really understand how to make that lean forwards happen correctly. You see a lot of people, they just do a slope spin and they just kind of bend at the waist. That doesn't do anything. That doesn't bring you to the front of your skis. No. Being strong in your core, clenching your bum, and really leaning like this to get you right engaged onto the front of the skis.
But also to that, I like to add a little bit of a whoop, whoop, that the skis are coming kind of back and you really roll up on them.
Yeah. People like to throw their arms round but wrap them then into their body really quickly. Okay, when you do a nose butter and you kind of wrap like this, it blocks the rotation. Okay, so it's a lot better, a lot easier if you try and keep the arms nice and wide as you go for the spin. And then if you need to speed it up at the end, then you can wrap them in a little bit.
Yeah. What kind of terrain do you like to do nose butters on?
For me, my favorite thing to do butters on is rollers.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's nice.
A nice steep roller where you can really get a little bit of drop off the end.
Ooh.
That feels real good. Or little jumps, to be honest.
Or jumps too.
Yeah. And onto rails. The place I don't do them that often is on banks.
No?
No.
I love banks. So a bank is something that's shaped like an up or even like a little bit like a quarter pipe. I think this is the easiest to do with a pole plant on the nose butter. Line does matter. Let's say to the extreme, I go straight up, try to do it. And I'm gonna set off quite a fast rotation, like such. Let's on the next feature do the opposite and do a long swooping nose butter in the back. Since this bank is really long, I'm going to try to do a long butter for a long time too.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, I hope I can keep up, Jens.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned a lot. It was great having you on the show.
Thank you, Jens. It was fun skiing with you today,
Yeah.
as always. And if you would like to come and ski with us at some point, come join one of our freestyle camps for adults. They are a lot of fun. I'm still yet to meet any kind of camper that's been unhappy.
Yeah, they're very happy. They're over there.
They're over there somewhere, that way.
Yeah. Bye.
Ciao.